Hi, I'm Mark Mandela. I'm a partner here at the law firm of Fausone Bond, located in Northville, Michigan on 6 Mile. I'm here today with Brandon Grysko. Brandon's worked with the firm for many years now. On a side note, and interestingly, this is a second career because Brandon, you were a Livonia police officer.
That's right. I spent several years working for the City of Livonia Police Department.
Yep. And I assume that's why I do the criminal work now and you're doing the business work and the real estate work and why we're here today.
That's right. I made a decision to move away from the criminal side of things a little bit. So
Absolutely. And then the final topic, you do a lot of wills and estates and trusts and probate stuff, correct?
that's right. Yeah, wills, estates, trusts, estate planning. Those are significant practice areas for me.
All right. Well, can I ask you some quick questions about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
All right. So I get this phone call often from clients. They'll call me and say, hey, Mark, do I need a will or do I need a trust? And obviously, it's just not so simple to say, like, you need a will or you need a trust, because you probably need to ask questions about age and children and all of that. So, for the average client probably that we see is usually somebody at a minimum in their 30s and moving up the ladder at that point, maybe married and with kids. And they're going to give you a phone call and probably ask that exact question. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I get that question all the time too. A lot of calls from clients on that. Initial intake meetings. Do I need a will? Do I need a trust? Is a trust overkill? Those types of things come up all the time. And what I like to focus on with my clients, Mark, is education. So I educate them on this is what a will does, and these are its limitations. And if you want, and if it makes sense to move in the direction of a trust, we can certainly do that too. But I'll spend a couple minutes just talking about each and what the benefits and drawbacks could be. For a will, for example, a will only takes effect when you pass away. So there's really no lifetime benefit to having a will other than the peace of mind that, of course, you get from having your affairs in order and having your wishes set down in writing. But that document is not going to do anything for you during your lifetime. A trust, on the other hand, does a lot of the same things that the will can do, but it also has the benefit of a trustee being able to potentially step in and help you manage your assets and affairs during your lifetime. And then, of course, when you pass away, the trustee also will manage those post-death distributions that you've set out in writing.
All right, so let me ask you about that. Often, I will have clients call me and say, like, Mark, if I get a will, do I have to go through probate?
And the answer to that is maybe. I know that's a very attorney answer, but nowadays, almost all accounts and assets have what's called the transfer on death or a pay on death beneficiary designation. And so what that means is that, say, for example, you go to your bank and open up an account, and when you fill out your account paperwork, you have the opportunity to designate a beneficiary. So that account paperwork is essentially a contract with the bank, and the beneficiary designation directs the bank, hey, this is how you're going to pay this asset over once I've passed away. And so those types of assets do not have to go through probate, assuming you've properly updated your beneficiary designations. But if you open an account and you don't list any beneficiary, or if you have an asset that doesn't have the ability to have a beneficiary designated on it, those are the types of assets that are going to have to go through probate, unless during your lifetime you've created a trust and funded those assets into the trust by changing the title of the account or asset to the name of the trust, essentially.
Is there any benefit between a will and a trust as it relates to taxes in your estate?
There can be in certain circumstances. Now, just understand, though, that the general rule is that a beneficiary receiving inheritance does not have to pay tax on that, okay? And it depends, too, on the size of the estate. Currently, the estate tax threshold in the United States is $11.7 million. So if you pass away and your estate is under that threshold, generally speaking, there won't be any estate or inheritance tax due. However, when you talk about things like retirement benefits and benefits that are pre-tax, so things that have come out of your paycheck and gone into an IRA or a 401k account, the beneficiaries will have to pay income tax on those benefits, even though they don't have to pay inheritance or estate tax.
Is there a direct correlation on whether you're using a will or a trust based upon the amount of value in your your estate?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a component of it. So as folks achieve more and develop greater earning potential and have more in savings, and as they get more complicated assets, maybe with real estate holdings or business interests or significant investment accounts, you're really looking at probably wanting a trust versus just having a will. And the reason for that is that you would really want somebody during your lifetime to be able to step in and manage those different various assets for you to the extent that you're not able to do so. And so a lot of times as things become more complicated, it definitely makes sense to strongly consider doing a trust versus having a will.
I have a lot of friends and a lot of clients contact me regarding like specific questions of their own health if they were to get sick and maybe couldn't make decisions. Does a will help them with that, or does a trust?
Actually, so as it pertains to making medical, healthcare, custody and control type decisions, really neither a will or a trust is appropriate for that type of situation. What you're looking at in that case is what Michigan calls a patient advocate designation, or what's more commonly known as a medical power of attorney or a living will. This is a document that allows you to designate somebody who can make decisions for your healthcare needs to the extent you're incapacitated, unable to do so.
And that's separate from a will and a trust.
It is, but it's part of the package that I educate my clients on and recommend that people get, and that would include a will, potentially a trust, power of attorney for legal and financial matters, and then a patient advocate designation or medical power of attorney for healthcare related decisions.
And I've met many of your clients and stuff, and they vary in ranges from the young family, husband and wife married for a couple of years who have a few kids, asking you whether it should be a will or a trust, and I assume you go through the questions and educate them. Is there a direct correlation between moving more from a will to a trust with the more income you make and the more value of your marital estate? Because I know you've done some very high-end trust work.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that the wealthier someone is, the more it points me in the trust direction for a lot of different reasons, but including potential tax implications and just overall as a planning tool. The trust tends to be a longer document. It tends to give, or at least in my view, a little bit more flexibility in terms of how the planning's done and how the administration's done.
All right, and if there's one final piece of advice for a family that's interested in whether it's a will or a trust and they haven't made that decision, what would you tell them?
I don't care what you get. I think you just need to come in and talk to me and get it put down in writing and develop that plan. It's just absolutely critical. I've seen too many people wait way too long to get this stuff done, and sometimes you wait too long, you think you have time, and before you know it, you're out of time for whatever reason. Maybe it's a unforeseen circumstance, or COVID has impacted a lot of people, and my potential clients in nursing homes, a lot of them, I wasn't able to get in and see them as quickly as they wanted to because of the visitation restrictions and things like that. So it's absolutely critical to get this stuff done now. Don't wait. Give us a call, and we'll set you up and take good care of you.
Well, great. Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Mark.
it.